What was that actual acronym?
What do you think it is?
So you got.
Oh my god!
You got Jackson Weddle.
Welcome back to Loosely Related. As always, I'm your host, Jackson Weddle.
Yeah!
Right here in Loosely Related Stadium.
There we go. You got it.
We're running.
You gotta go. You gotta go.
Welcome back to Loosely Related. As always, I'm your host, Jackson Weddle, and this week we're with Jill Brown. Jill, can you tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do here at Northwest?
Sure. So I am very fortunate that I work over at the Northwest Foundation, where I serve as Director of Corporate Relations and also a Major Gift Officer, which pretty much just means every single day I'm on the road out talking to alums and donors and corporations about why they love Northwest, why they want to partner with Northwest, and about everything in between.
Everything. I know you own your own public speaking company called Collisions of Awesome. And I'm sure with that, it comes with a lot of preparation for big talks and just hours of, setting up things.
You should hope, right? Maybe.
Something like that. Today, we're going to have none of that.
Oh, good.
We're going to be giving some speeches to thousands of people, probably, about things we know nothing about. And we haven't prepared for it all. I don't think it could go badly at all.
What could possibly go wrong?
Let's get into it. Hello there, welcome back to my 17-part series on a very important topic that is near to dear in my heart. What I've learned hosting Loosely Related. Now, this is a fun topic for me because I've hosted at least 2 episodes of Loosely Related in my life, and maybe more, who's to say? We don't really know, but I think there's a lot of life lessons to be learned in there and a lot of good things that you can put into your everyday life. Some questions I get often about hosting Loosely Related. There's 4 main questions primarily, and those are cows. Cows are, how do I put this nicely, the worst. And honestly, the smell, I can't stress enough, is not something you want to deal with in your everyday life. If that's something you do want to do, more power to you. Cows can sometimes be adorable. Most times not. The next question is accounting. Am I good at it? No. Accounting is also a fun topic. I'm in accounting 2 right now. Sorry, not accounting 2, accounting 2, where we're learning about, you have to count all the different spots on the cows. Sometimes some have more than less. You have to credit some of them. And the last question that I get a lot is, none of these are questions. Thank you for noticing. Those of you who did notice, give yourself a round of applause. And that was just kind of throw you off your rhythm a little bit, get you moving. This is going to be a fun talk today. So let's move on to our next slide, which is a chart about Loosely Related, I'm assuming. And that would be, well, these don't add up to 100. 97% of the time, I would say I have no idea what I'm doing. And then the smaller 2% of the time, I have every idea what I'm doing. And then we made it so small you couldn't see it. There's a 1% right in there, which is just pure chaos. Which is pretty much, it should just be 100% because that's every Loosely Related episode. But that sums that up. I think you get a good visualization of what's happening here. So next slide. An image that, really, it makes me feel like I'm hosting Loosely Related every time I look at this image. And that would be just a car crash. I mean, you just get, I'm gonna rephrase that. You totaled, honestly. I mean, this thing's undrivable. Sometimes the plots of Loosely Related are undrivable after I host them. But, you still got 4 working tires there. There's something to work with. Thankfully, our lovely crew puts together a great episode every week. Yeah, how about them? Yeah, they're pretty great. And so now I'd like to go to a quote that I like to live by. Bye, buddy. Hope you find your dad. Now, this really is the essence of Loosely Related. As Todd Weddle, my dad, was a guest on an episode.
Hell yeah!
Yes, you remember that one. Yeah, it was a good one, wasn't it? That one really ties into that car crash image well, too, because it took like 3.5 hours to film. It was fantastic. But Mr. Narwhal here really just drives home the point of Loosely Related. Hope you find your dad, and hope that's what it's all about. So, thank you. Oh no, not thank you. No thank you to anybody in this room. Finally, we have an acronym, which is WBTLRAAIYHJW, which stands for Would Buddy the Lelf Rather Ask Anonymous Interesting Yes Questions. It starts with an H, it's a silent. With is not in the acronym, Jackson Weddle. And thank you for coming to my Loosely Related TED Talk. Well, I think we pretty much killed it on that presentation.
Definitely so.
Both of us. But what would you do if something went wrong when you're in the middle of a speech?
Oh gosh, I think you have to just prepare going in that you know something is gonna go wrong, right? Whether that's technology or you stumble over a word, happens to me all the time. And I think anytime you have something go wrong, the best thing to do is honestly just kind of smile. Everybody knows it, everybody heard it, everybody saw it, sometimes as the case might be, and then just recompose yourself. And it seems like it's so much time when you're doing that, but in all reality, it's like the course of 3 seconds. We talk about the mind of a goldfish, and you will just move right on, and honestly, no one will remember. If you keep making a big deal about it or keep apologizing, I know when I first started speaking and like, gosh, the microphone had stopped working, I kept feeling like I needed to apologize, like, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. In all reality, why? It's fixed now, just continue to go. So again, I think you have to just kind of go in. I always like to play like worst case scenario. Like worst case scenario, my pants split. Worst case scenario, I fall off the stage. Like if you play that game, then no matter what happens, it's really not that bad. Well, hello. I cannot wait to share with you a very important message that I have today about how to make the best grilled cheese ever. I don't think you even understand what a staple this is in my food diet every single day. How about you? Yes? Good, good, good. A lot of grilled cheese lovers in the crowd. But if we're truly going to enjoy and make the perfect grilled cheese ever, we need to answer a couple of questions. 3 questions to be exact. Question 1 being, where do I begin? Now, as I think about where do I begin, I go all the way back. Do I need to involve a cow? Do I need to make my own bread? How far back do I really have to go to have the ultimate grilled cheese? But we're in a college town. So I'm gonna say you need to think about where you begin on the cheapest way possible. How can I steal some bread from the convenience store? Or maybe even easier, from the food line on campus. Question number 2. Is it morally okay to steal the bread? No, it's not. I know, I take it back. You know, maybe if you had a duck, you could get free bread to give the duck bread, but you are gonna have to pay for your bread. So you're gonna get your bread, and it's still okay though, that you're gonna use cheese. And you can use whatever cheese you want to do. Now don't let people tell you it has to be sliced cheese. If you wanna use cheese from a can, you use cheese from a can on your grilled cheese. It is your best life. Question number 3, will the IRS be mad at me? Absolutely, right? They're gonna be so jealous of the money that you're going to make when you start selling these grilled cheese out of your air fryer in your dorm. They're gonna come for you. They're gonna say, how are they funding their entire education making grilled cheese for others? But don't let them get onto you, because this is your entrepreneurial journey and you should be proud of yourself. So a chart about your success in grilled cheese making. Yes, this is the perfect ratio, right? We are no brain scientists here, right? We should know we need an equal 2 slices of bread to cheese ratio. But again, if you want to live your best life, I'm not gonna judge. If you want to flip that around and do extra cheese and less bread, right? I know we're all on these low carb diets. So you live your best life. I think it's also important that we address a quote about the importance that is, but wait, there's actually another image. What was I thinking? And that image is, yes, do not go blindly into making grilled cheese. You need to know what you're doing. Do not forget the butter, right? Otherwise, you're just gonna put bread and cheese together and you're gonna wonder, how did my mom do it all those years? Why is this so terrible? Where did I go wrong? Don't be blind, get the butter. Now a quote. Thanks for joining along. And that quote is, you're tacky and I hate you. Now, yes, this is what your roommates are gonna say when you try to serve them a grilled cheese with that cheese out of a can. But that's what you can afford, man. So don't let them hate you. It's their loss if they don't want part of your delicious entrepreneurial Shark Tank journey. And finally, an acronym. And that acronym is SHAWTY. And that stands for, should he always wish there was more cheese? Yes, that's what that last Y stands for. There was more cheese. Yes, and that is absolutely the case. There should always be as much cheese as your heart and your cholesterol allow. Thank you for your time.
What's your biggest hope that people will take away from any of your speeches?
Sure. So I mostly talk about gratitude and joy and how to have more fun every day in life and work. So my goal always when people walk out of having a session with me or a presentation with me is that they just feel a little lighter, a little brighter, and hopefully like a little giggly. Like I know I make a lot of jokes. Some are funny, some are not. And so my goal is always that when somebody leaves an experience with me, that they just feel a little bit better. They look for the joy, they look for the fun, because it's out there if you're willing to look for it.
Hello everyone, welcome back. Thank you for having us as your guest speakers today. We're very honored to be here to give our loosely RelaTED talk about a very important topic that you all should pay attention to, and that is how to get over your fear of public speaking. And to get over those fears, there's a lot of questions that need to be asked early on. And some of those are, what if I mess up?
So I'm actually a pretty firm believer that you should mess up. That way they know you're a real person. I mean, you don't want to set the bar so high that they're like, oh gosh, I could never be a public speaker as worthy and as awesome as you. So I, at some point, should probably stumble, fall, perhaps spit on an audience member. I actually feel better about it.
So then the next point, what if everyone laughs?
I don't know about you, but I'm always hoping that's the goal. I mean, like every time, like, please let there be laughter and not maybe just at me.
Exactly, because if nobody laughs in your presentation, was it really even good? I mean, let's be honest.
And it gets a little awkward sometimes, like at funerals, if there's too many chuckles, but
That's
otherwise
true.
I still feel like laughter, okay.
It's kind of a read the room,
Yeah, read the room. Address the
day-by-day
situation.
thing. And our last question would be, what if I stumble over my words and let out a burp because I get so nervous? Will everyone always remember me for that moment? Will I have to move away and start a new life? Probably. Will I be cursed with the burden of never being able to show my face again? What will I tell my parents? Will I ever be able to look them in the eye again?
Whew.
Now this is our third most frequently asked question, and it's that entire thing every time. There's no variation. It's a tough one though, because I never quite know how to respond. Jill, what do you think?
So again, I think you addressed this earlier, maybe how our parents are always disappointed in us anyhow. So, I mean, there's no disappointment there. And frankly, we learned it from somebody. So, I mean, you can kind of ignore that part of the question. Stumbling, again, probably just part of the normal. To start a new life, I mean, what's the harm in that? I mean, maybe you're going to go there and you're going to love it there. So,
Could be better than your right now life.
Better than, right? They might just accept you for your burping ways. So, I mean, it's a struggle. Oh, a chart addressing the important concerns about public speaking. And that's accurate. I don't know about you, but when I speak, that's exactly what I see out in the audience. I mean, it's just like a constant prism of, will I pass out? Will I throw up? I mean, it's a back and forth toss up for me every single time.
Now, this is, and we've taken this from the University of Minnesota Health Department, that is actually what the inside of a public speaker's stomach looks like when they're talking. It's just churning and building. See, the red parts here, that's a heat wave coming down, and we have this, nice cool wave. It's going to meet in the middle there. And I don't know if you know what happens when hot and cold wind mix, tornadoes. And that's just, you don't want that in your stomach. So to relieve that pressure, we've got...
Oh, black cat, right? Now, black cats think those are like bad signs of bad things to come, but I'm actually a pretty firm believer that they come across our path for a variety of reasons, and maybe it's to make us not so nervous, because now we're nervous our life's going to end. So public speaking becomes much less threatening if you're not worried about death, right?
I mean, dying, public speaking. One is obviously worse than the other, and it's not public speaking.
Yeah, I agree.
Now, a quote that we public speakers like to live by is, there's so much room for activities. And that's so true.
That is so true. I don't know about you, like what kind of activities do you like to work into your public speaking? I mean, I like to juggle. I like to dance.
Juggling's a classic one.
What about you?
I think a little bit of hum singing and a little interpretive, well, thingy there. Can't go badly.
Right.
And so much room for activities. It has that double meaning of there's so much room on the stage around us. I mean, we get to move all over, gesture with your hands. Some people, they public speak like this.
There's no fun for that. Not when you can lead the crowd in the wave, right?
Exactly.
I mean, so much more enjoyable when we can lead our crowd in the wave.
Let's all do that.
Right?
Ready? We're gonna start over here. Yes, that
you
gentleman there.
Get up. It'll be okay.
And
yes.
ready? With us. 3, 2, 1. Whoa!
Oh, man.
That was perfect. Everybody, see, so much room for activities.
So much. Oh, this is gonna be all you. I can feel it already. You're gonna have to share with them this important acronym about what we've learned about how to not be nervous.
And that acronym is Jackson. Just articulate correctly. Kill everyone with kindness. So, on, never. Off never, actually. I'm sorry, I misspoke. Because you're never off. You're always on.
Never.
On stage, on brand, on par. You know, all these different ons, and you're always on them.
It's accurate. I agree. Thank you very much.
So we just had that great speech about how to get over fear of public speaking, which we rocked,
Clearly.
obviously. But for like some tips and tricks on how to actually get over fears of public speaking, do you have any?
Oh gosh, yes, because by all means, I was certainly nervous. So I actually say that if I'm not nervous before I speak to a group, even now, that I don't care enough. So I like a little bit of nerves because I always want people to have a good opportunity, a good experience. So how I get over my nerves is usually I try to think meaningfully about what I hope they take from my presentation. And then also, I like to pick out in the audience, like maybe 5 to 6 people that I can tell are gonna be smiley. They're gonna be like my positive reinforcers, like I am usually in a room. And I try to find those people and then just kind of anchor to them. Because invariably, I spend most of my time talking to high schoolers, so I know they're on their phone. I know they're snapping their friends probably about how cool I am. No. So in other words, I try to pick out those that I know are gonna be keyed in because then that makes me less nervous. Because at the end of the day, I know those 8 people, they're gonna get something from this talk. I don't ever try to win over the whole crowd. I know that's not realistic, no matter how funny or clever I might be.
Well, Jill, thank you for showing me how it's done here on Loosely RelaTED stage today with public speaking. Do you want to let our viewers know where they can find more out about you, maybe where to follow any accounts that you might have?
Sure, so you can always find me over at the Alumni House, literally, walk in. We love when there's guests at the Alumni House. I'm also available on pretty much every social media platform, as well as email. The university gave me the world's coolest email of just Jill B, so I feel like a rapper most days. And then my personal business is collisionsofawesomeness.com, so pretty easy to find there as well.
Well, make sure to tune in next week to see who we have here on Loosely Related and what we get up to.